Hello once again, everybody. And on behalf of the All-Star Football Officials Association Training Committee, I'd like to welcome you to this week's training video. This week, we're going to basically do a seven-man or seven-person, you can call it a refresher course, shortcut, point of emphasis, whatever you want to call it. It will just be something to help you kind of hit on some of the main highlights when it comes to seven-person crew. If some of you guys haven't worked it, maybe all year, maybe you've worked a game or two, or you're going from maybe side judge to back judge or something like that. Just something that'll help you get you back in the right mindset. Give you a few things that'll help you for pregame discussions, and maybe just something you can see that'll help you remind you what you need to do out there on the field. So again, we'll go through some things pregame. I got a few videos to show you kind of on the field. That way, you'll just have something you can actually see and not just having to sit here listen to me talk. So we'll hopefully I keep this pretty short, but we'll go ahead and jump right in. All right, first thing before we even get to the game, some very important things you want to get taken care of with your crew. Hopefully you hear from your white hat. He'll let you know, and you'll get the assignment on arbiter where you're going. Hopefully you've got some guys you can ride with, where you need to meet, what time you need to meet, how who's driving, who's riding, all that kind of stuff. Very important. So make sure once you get your assignment, hopefully your referee calls you, but if not, don't wait on him. Hey, start calling around, call him, maybe push him, get the ball rolling. Figure out, like I said, where you're leaving from, where you're going to, how long it's going to take. Is it somewhere up north that, be heavy traffic, or, somewhere close by that's, just an hour or so away that you can get to pretty easy. So know that going in. Also know shirts, very important. GHS, are you going to be long sleeve, you're going to be short sleeve, or GISA, all that kind of stuff. So make sure, last thing you need to do is show up for the game and all you've got short sleeves, and the crew would decide to go with long sleeves. So if you need to purchase one, that's fine. If it gets late in the game, ask around. There's plenty of officials that either aren't working and you can borrow their shirt, or they are working but they have two pairs, or somebody can bring you one or whatever. So make sure you got that. All that kind of stuff. Bean bags. Does the referee want to use black and you only have white? Does the referee want to use white and you only have black, vice versa, whatever it is? Just make sure y'all get all that taken care of. That way you don't just show up at the game site and that's the last minute thing you're trying to ask around, stuff like that. So make sure you get all that out of the way. Make sure your bag's packed, ready to go. Double check it, triple check it, whatever you got to do before you even leave. So obviously, when you get there, y'all have a little bit more detailed discussion pregame. Hopefully, your referee gave you some assignments. You each go through a little more detail, maybe talk about teams, field, stuff like that. But some of the most important things, if you're working with blended crews or somebody, obviously people you hadn't worked with before, especially line guys, make sure before you leave out there, you can go out there, make sure you got your signal straight in terms of make sure if you punch back, you punch one, do you punch two, do y'all do the top of the hat if you've got a guy covered up? Do y'all just want to use the radios? Whatever it is, whatever y'all decide, that's fine. But make sure you have that discussion. Same thing when it comes to penalty enforcement too. How y'all are going to go through penalty enforcement. Be it does the umpire always, does he always want to wait on the head linesman to get back with him? The line judge hold the spot like the mechanic, or do you do something different? Just make sure you have that discussion about it. If you have somebody that does it, just however you do it, just make sure you have that discussion about penalty enforcement so that it looks nice and crisp going forward. Also, make sure you have a discussion with your chain crew. Should be officials in this case, whether we take them with them, whether they go with you to a game or whether they meet you from another association, whatever it is. They're supposed to be officials, but that doesn't mean they know how to work the chains. And I'm not trying to be funny when I say that, because that happened to me my first year. I didn't know how to hold chains. I didn't know where to clip it and all that kind of stuff. So make sure that just because they're officials, make sure you're having that conversation. Make sure you go through the whole thing with them. Hey, clip the back of that line. I know they're there, and that you think they know what they're doing, and they may very well, but at least make sure you have that conversation, because the last thing you want is a couple first year guys that have never done it, while they are officials, they don't know how to do it. So You definitely don't want to snafu there, especially in big games like this. So just have that discussion, and make sure because we have the seventh man, we talk about the fact that the back judge would stay with the ball. Everything else kind of stays the same with the other six guys, but back judge would come in and hold the ball. Make sure we have another ball, obviously, if we're outside the hashes, all that kind of stuff. So please have that discussion pregame. All right, next couple topics we want to talk about are kind of after pregame once we go out there on the field. First one being the clocks. When you get out there, and again, this is not necessarily, I'm not going to talk about them in the particular order. You'll go through them, but just want to hit on clocks. When you get out there, just take a look. Do you have a game clock on both sides? Is it visible? Obviously, you'll run through it. Do you hear a horn? Do you not hear a horn? All that kind of stuff. Biggest thing too, the play clocks. If we have them, let's make sure we go through them, make sure they work. They can reset to 40, we can reset to 25, all that kind of stuff. Let's make sure we have good discussion with our play clock and our game clock operators about all that. But if we don't have play clocks, visible play clocks, that is, obviously make sure you got a good watt, whatever it is, ready ref, whatever it is. Make sure you've got something good that a good device you can keep time with, 40, 25, and make sure you stay on that. Again, if we don't have a visible play clock, let's make sure we go talk to the coaches, the quarterback, center, whoever we want to go talk to over there on each team. Take the back judge and somebody from that side over there with you. Have a discussion about how we're going to go through the time and hold our hand up at 10. We'll work down to 5, and then we'll count out from 5 down to 1 using the kind of basketball signal there. But that's what we do. Georgia High School, that's the mechanics. So, like, if we don't have visible play clocks, please make sure we have that discussion. We don't want to get in, after 2 minutes into the game, we had to delay a game, and then coach is asking, well, who am I supposed to be looking at? So make sure we know that, especially if you're new, if you're a wing moving to back judge or something like that. Again, this is a back judge responsibility, but if you're not used to running back judge, I'm telling you, and I'm speaking from experience for the fact that you'll be halfway through the first quarter and realize you hadn't looked at the game clock yet or the play clock yet. I mean, I'm telling you, it just happens, especially if you got two fast-paced teams. And it's not just looking at it to make sure it gets down to 0 when it's supposed to, or you throw a flag when it's down to 0. It's make sure it's getting reset properly. If it's supposed to be at 40, it's starting at 40. If it's supposed to be at 25, it's at 25. So make sure we're getting all that done. Pre-game, having those discussions. Next thing is game balls. Please check them. Don't just assume that just because we're in the playoffs and they're supposed to have brand new Wilson footballs that they're supposed to use it, they're going to use them. Just check them. And I know the rule book tells you the referee has the authority, but get over there. He only has to let him be the final authority. Head linesman, line judge, deep guys, even the back judge. If I were a back judge, I'd go over there too, especially because they claim they have kicking balls and this, that, and the other. Check those out. Make sure they're approved. Make sure they have the Federation stamp. Make sure they have white stripes on them. For God's sakes, please make sure that they at least have the white stripes on them, laces on them, all that kind of stuff. They're not composite. They meet all the specs. So just check them. Also, another thing important, because we're using a 7-man crew, obviously the back judge always stays on the home side. So make sure that visiting team, talk with their ball boys to make sure that they have you a ball, but they're either back there with you, or they have a ball back there behind the goalpost, whatever they're going to kick off with, ready to go. That way the back judge can just grab it, take it down the home sideline with him. That way he's not having to go after a field goal or try or whatever, run to the visiting team sideline to get a ball and then run all the way back to the home team sideline. So something we don't have to deal with in a crew of 6, but when we get to a crew of 7, it's very important. So make sure ball rotation, very important. You got help back there, even during the game, getting the ball out, a deep, incomplete pass from one side to the other. That back judge can help facilitate all that. So make sure we talk about that. Make sure we're having a discussion with the ball boys and make sure we're checking balls to make sure that they're legal. Another thing out there, just check the field. Walk around, make sure there's no potholes that'll that'll twist your ankle. And last thing you want to do is drive all the way up to Atlanta or 3 or 4 hours away, work a game, get halfway through the first quarter, step in a pothole, and then you're sitting on the sideline with a bag of ice on you. So make sure, if there's any issues, we get those fixed. If there's something like the little shot put thing or something close to the field, if there's any obstructions, we get them covered up, padded, whatever it is. Take care of yourselves first, guys. Don't put yourself in a bad spot. So make sure we're getting that fixed. Same thing with the pylons. Y'all know that's one of my pet peeves, and should be one of yours too. Those yard marker pylons that they put on the sideline that are basically just landmines there waiting to trip you. Take them, move them back, get them out of your way. Give yourself plenty of room to work with, especially towards the goal line. Make sure all that's good. Checking the change, nothing really changed much, but make sure we are doing that. Make sure we got good tape on the 5-yard mark, all that kind of stuff. Last thing, yeah, that's really it. I talked about that. Get together. Obviously, watch. One of the most important things, is just see what the kicking game is. Do they have a kicker who can make from 50? Do they have a punter who can turn it over every time and kick it 60, 70 yards? Do they have a tendency does the kicker look like he doesn't have much of a leg and they're going to pooch kick every time? Stuff like that. So a lot of things, if you're going to just observe things pregame, the kicking game is one thing I would tell you. Really take a look at it. It'll help you keep you out of a lot of rough spots and save your butt in some cases. All right, since the game itself starts with a kickoff, we'll go ahead and start with it in terms of talking about a few mechanics things. Obviously, crew of 7, let's talk about that real quick. We're on the home side, press box side, and that's the look we got. So you got back judge over here, umpire, you see they're signaling they're ready to go. Side judge over there, field judge over here. They're on the receiving team, straight line 50. So we'll box that in just like that. So one thing I can tell you, back judge, obviously he'll take the ball out there after, opening kick, after a touchdown, all that. He will hand the ball to the kicker. But I will tell you, please do not hand that ball to the kicker until you know that we're pretty much ready to kick. Make sure they got 11. Make sure teams out there, make sure they got 11. Turn and make sure the rest of your crew's in position as well. Don't just run out there and be ready to hand in the ball and run off the field. Wait, turn around, make sure everybody's ready. Last thing we want is to, God forbid, we hand them the football, we run to the side, the referee's still, line judge or whatever, still having a conversation with the coach. The teams are lined up, and because we gave the kicker the ball, he thinks he can go ahead and kick it now, even though we hadn't put it ready for play. Before you laugh at that, I have seen it happen. So, again, just make sure, back judge, don't hand it to them until they've got 11 guys out there. And for the most part, we're ready to go. So it'll keep you out of a bind. It'll keep you out of a lot of trouble. Trust me. So that being said, again, as we start going, we'll talk about keys and some other stuff real quick too. So kick, get out there. As soon as he kicks it, obviously didn't have anything funny. Umpire's going to come out. He's going to get about the hash mark over here. Back judge is going to bust his butt out. He'll be here. See the two deep guys stay on the sideline. And when I say deep, I mean field judge, side judge. No need to run out on the field. Stay on the sideline. Hustle down. Don't be in a full sprint to get down here. Kind of read the kick and what it's doing. But you want to work downfield a little bit. That way we can box it in. And as it starts to come back toward us, then we backpedal and work back again, staying on the sideline the whole time. So the back judge and the umpire kind of have the middle of the field. Back judge, don't forget, 2 deep guys in the back judge, you have responsibility for the goal line. So if this thing breaks out, you catch it at the 10 and it breaks 90 yards, just like any other scrimmage play, you're going to have to get on your horse and get down here to the goal line. Same thing with the deep guys. Y'all have to work down the sideline and get that. Umpire, you're going to work in here, and if it comes at you, you're just going to watch it, kind of move with it a little bit, and then let it all pass you by and clean it up like you would any other time. But in terms of keys, again, I'm not going to get into too much, but you deep guys, you forward deep guys here, you're going to kind of turn it into quarters. So the field judge right here, he's going to look from this 50. He's going to look for blocks right in this area down about the 25 or so down here. So he's going to look for blocks in here. Back judge, he's coming over, so he's going to look for blocks. Middle of the field, overlap a little bit, hash mark with the field judge over here. So he's going to look for blocks right here. Umpire, same thing going the other way. He's got the inside part of this. The field judge has the outside part of that. So there's a good kind of mechanic-gram or whatever in some of Georgia high school stuff that you can see, really break it down. But just know that. Big thing here, they're busting in. That's good. Because it went deep downfield, we're going to see a onside kick here in a little bit where, if we got an onside kick, we don't want to necessarily bust in too hard. But good job here. Deep kick. It's gone. So we're hustling and doing the right things. All right, this play right here, we've got an onside kick. Well, we've got an anticipated onside kick. You see, we've got 6 in the box right here. So here we go onside. You got your back judge, your umpire set up as normal. You've got your field judge and your side judge set up normal. So obviously onside kick, what we do is we bring the wing guys up and kind of plant them in between the two guys here. So they're going to be, I say the 45, depending on where the kick is, but they're going to be split the difference between the back judge and the side judge or field judge and the side judge and the umpire. So they're here. Guys here, obviously, we're going to make sure they're not offsides. That's our primary kind of focus here, make sure they're not offsides. Same thing here, deep guys, make sure the receiving team doesn't come up offsides, but also make sure we're not we don't get any illegal blocks. Guys in here, we're looking for first touching and blocks. I know I tell you one focus on one focus on the other. But anyway, most important, 45 guys on the 45 and guys on the 50, we're looking for first touching and we're looking for illegal blocks. And I'm not going to get into the rules about illegal blocks. Y'all can have that discussion, but that's the biggest thing here. So I want to talk a little bit about mechanics once it gets going. So we'll let it play out and you'll see it. Dribble there, gets hit while we jump on it. So what I will tell you is if we've got an onside kick here, one of the best things we can do as officials is nothing. And when I say that, I mean stay still. You can see a lot more if your head's still and you're not moving than you are if you're trying to hustle out here and get on something. Again, we've got a loose ball here. Guys are good here. We've got the umpire hustling out like he usually does on most kicks, but in this case, we've got a loose ball. So if you're running out here too hard, you're gonna have to put on the brakes, and you're gonna put yourself in a bind because you're putting your spot. If they pick it up and run the other way, you might be in the way, or if it bounces loose, they might come try to blast you and knock you down. So we appreciate the hustle. Again, the best thing to do is to just kind of sit still here, watch the blocks, let it play out. Once we get a recovery right there, now all 6 of us can bring it in, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All 6 of us can come in now. We're not running all over each other, and we're not in danger of getting run over by some excited players, doing their point one way, and you just get tomahawked right in the top of the head by them. So nice and calm and relaxed. Come in, make a ruling, kill it. See, we're focused here. So biggest thing, again, come out of this, slow down, let it happen. Once it does, then all 6 of you can kind of get in there and make a ruling on it. All right, let's talk quickly about punts, scrimmage kicks, punts, in this case with a crew of 7. Biggest thing that changes is we keep the field judge off the field, and that's great. That way he can focus on these outside guys. Both of them can focus on these outside guys coming down, as opposed to in the past, he's got to watch the kick returner, and we maybe not see some holes on the outside, stuff like that. But in 7-man, it's a lot better. So we've got the back judge who has responsibility for the kicker, or excuse me, the kick returner. In this case, as we kind of let it play out, their initial positioning, if he's standing at the, let's say he was standing at the 35, our initial position wants to be a little bit of a change this year, wants you a little bit deeper, 10 yards behind, and obviously the back judge, we want to be in the middle of the field, shaded to or shaded in the middle of the field. If he's on, obviously you see he's over here, so the back judge, middle of the field, keeping about a 45-degree angle. Deep guys, again, they stay back. Once we have the catch, they'll work up. They'll obviously work up just like reverse mechanics. But in this case, he had 2 kick returners. That was the biggest thing. That's one of these teams that they put a guy on the 35 right here, and they put a guy on the 35 right here. That's him coming over. So if you have that, just split the difference, stand right in the middle, and figure out where the kick's going, and then we can work to that side. So a good job. But again, biggest thing, they want you a little bit deeper to work to keep about a 10-yard buffer on them at all times. Now, this kick came from the other side of the field, but the general rule, if the offense is snapping from the 40, from the plus 40, I guess you want to call it, or they've got a really good kicker, or the kick returner has his feet on the 10-yard line, then as deep guys, side judge, field judge, and back judge, we want to be on the goal line. So let's say they snap we know they got a good kicker, they're snapping from the 50, they got the kick returner on the 10. We want to all be on the goal line back here. All 3 deep guys be on the goal line. So with that being said, obviously the back judge has responsibility for the kick returner. So if it's a short kick, he comes sprinting up. The back judge will be the first one to release and come up. And after that, the side judge and the field judge will as well. So last thing we want is where they do he calls for fair catch, runs up, runs past it. We all come running up. The ball hits at the 10 and goes and stops about the goal line. We got a mad dash, and we're trying to beat the kicking team down there, and it's just bad. So again, hold your ground as long as you can at the goal line until the ball is either possessed or whatever. It's no longer a threat to the goal line. Ball's moving the other way, whatever it is. Just remember, back judge, if it's new to you, 45 and keep about a 10-yard buffer. And once we've got that catch, you can come up. If he catches it and runs, he's the responsibility of the wing guys, and you'll just clean up. But if we got a fair catch like this, back judge, you're gonna come up, drop a beanbag, and take the spot, and we'll go from right there. So again, Georgia High School has a bunch of stuff on punts and different scenarios, so you can check out their video if you want some more information. If you're new to back judge and want to see some more clips. All right, real quick, I'll show you this just so, in case you're new to it, just so you can see it, what it looks like 7-man on field goals and tries. This case, there's your back judge right there. He's up underneath the goalpost. This is the field judge who comes back there with him. Line guys, same as usual. Referee, same as usual. Here's your umpire, and here is your side judge in this case. So if it's new to you, side judge, as you see, he kind of comes in here. He's basically just kind of mirrors the umpire on the opposite side. So the umpire himself isn't, head up with him. He's off to the side just a little bit, but he does need to make sure he gives himself a clear view of the snap and everything. But side judge, if you're coming in, again, you're not looking at the snap. You're going to watch for hurling, blocks, low blocks, that kind of stuff for these guys kind of on the end of the line over here. Wing guys, you've got the same responsibility. You're looking in here, low blocks, holds off the edge, whatever it is, offsides, false starts, as usual. But in case you hadn't seen it before, this is pretty much what it looks like. There you go. Wing guys rushing in, good job. All right, let's talk real quick about positioning for regular scrimmage plays, 7-man. See right here, we're snapping from the 30. So field judge, side judge, y'all are 20 yards off the ball right there at the 10. Back judge, you will be 5 yards behind them. So you can kind of see his shadow. He's standing right here at the 5. And middle of the field. I'll go ahead and tell you right there, if we see an end zone shot. Stay in the middle of the field as much as you can. If you need to take a step or two to the left or to the right to see your key or whatever you need to do, that's fine. Please don't work all the way out here to the hash marks. It just looks bad if you're working hash mark to hash mark. The hash marks in high school are so wide. It's a little bit different in college, and even the NFL are even closer. But it puts you way out here by yourself if you're working as a back judge and you're working way out here. So stay in the middle of the field as much as you can. Like I said, step or two in either direction is fine. you'll see here as we let this go, obviously at the snap, go, we got the goal line right there covered. Good job here, back judge, perfect. He's on the goal line. The goal line's threatened right here, so he's there. He's going to hold it. Same thing, side judge over there, get it to the pylon, watch incomplete. So good job. Had that pass, let's say that pass fires way back here to the corner or to the back inline. The back judge is always responsible for this inline. So even though he started at the 5, if that's some bomb back here to the back, the back of the end zone, the back judge is going to have to bust his butt to get back here to the inline. Again, field judge, side judge, let him have that. So don't try to beat that receiver back here. We'll let the back judge handle that. We'll kind of hang out here at the pylon, stop at the pylon. You can drift a little bit if you need to, but we're going to let the back judge handle that. We'll handle this sideline over here. Box it in. If we get something to the back, that way if we get something to the back corner, the back judge can get here, come in. You can hold this line and come in, talk. Yeah, we got a catch. We got no catch, anything like that. So don't be in a hurry. The side judge, field judge trying to race back there. Don't forget in 7-man, you've got the back judge back there. He'll handle that cover, or he'll handle that. So again, we were snapping at the 30. Had we snapped at the 25, we go ahead and put the deeps between the 20 and 25 anyway. We go ahead and put the deeps on the goal line, and that back judge would have responsibility for that inline. He'd just go back there and he'd camp out there, and that's where he'd be. And if you had something short, he's not going to leave that inline to come up here and race, try to race the receiver or the runner or whatever. If you're back there, stay back there. The deep guys can handle the goal line. There's no need for you to come up here and try to beat somebody when they've got that covered. So hopefully that makes sense. Not really going to get into keys either. That would take. I'm already going a little long with this video here, but that take even longer about going over keys. So make sure you look in the book on keys. Who's got what? Back judge. If we shift and do all that, who's got what? So check those out. And you can also check out some of the videos from GHSA. All right, last play I want to show real quick, just goal line mechanics, just in case nobody's ever seen it in a crew of 7. So from the 7 and in, this case we're snapping about the 5, somewhere around there. So from the 7 and in, we're going to shift to goal line mechanics. So what that means is the line judge, head linesman are responsible for the goal line, entirely responsible for the goal line. The side judge, field judge will head back here to the pylon. They'll have responsibility for both the inline and the sideline. And the back judge back here has responsibility for the inline. Again, you see right in the middle of the field here, the plays on the right hash, there's no need to come way over here. Stay in the middle of the field. You've got help on either side. So just split the difference, and if everybody does their job, we'll be in good shape here. So again, 7 and in, we're snapping from the 5. We'll let it play out. Tries to throw a little, I can call it a little fade, whatever you want to. Got back there. Good job. You saw the hustle. Have both wing guys get to the goal line. Stay right there. Back judge, he's looking in. And the field judge back here, he's right where he needed to be. That was threatening the goal line or the end line a little bit more, so he shifted this way to box it in with the back judge back here. Had it been a little closer over here, he probably would have shifted a little bit this way so he could have boxed it in with the line judge right here. But either way, we've got 3 sets of eyes. As you can see, everybody's pretty still, just looking in at it. No need to try and run and beat them to the spot. Just relax. Sometimes less is more in this case. Just relax. We got 3 sets of eyes. Here it was clearly incomplete. So good job. But again, just in case you've never seen what 7-man goal line mechanics looks like, that's it right there. All right, that's it for this week. Hopefully that'll get everybody at least pointed in the right direction if you haven't done any 7-man this year, anything like that. Give you some topics, some things to look at. Again, Georgia High School's YouTube page has several position-specific videos as well as some in-depth stuff when it comes to keys and all kinds of stuff like that. Next couple weeks, I'll probably do some topic-specific stuff, maybe some more kicking game and stuff around the quarterback. Is it a pass? Is arm going forward, fumble, that kind of thing. So until then, good luck, guys. And as always, stay safe.